Mystery of Custer Hill. Not by chance did Custer wind up in the spot where they found his body. If you go to that hill today, you can still see what Custer saw, although with some modifications to the landscape. At the foot of the hill, or a little beyond what would technically be considered the foot of that hill, there is a spot where the Little Bighorn River makes a wide turn and crosses from the eastern side of the floodplain to the western side. Crossing this natural barrier would not pose a challenge to a man on horseback, but for women and children with travelers loaded with food, clothes, and teepees, the river crossing would require care, especially if it were swollen by recent rains. The strategic importance of this location is not great. Lakota and Cheyenne lodges were designed to be moved quickly across almost any terrain. Nevertheless, the hill Custer chose overlooked the single most significant natural barrier to the potential retreat of the native non-combatants. Thus, Custer's battlefield on Last Stand Hill and its environs was most likely selected for its offensive potential rather than its defensive virtues. The short retreat or charge to the crest of this area, described in native participant accounts, was from a nearby position where Custer had stationed himself to await reinforcements before resuming the offensive. But why did Custer wait? Why not simply take the 200-strong mounted strike force he had chosen before the battle and swoop in on the poorly defended women, children, and elders streaming north out of the village? There is no evidence that any significant clash occurred along the Little Bighorn. Until disproven by archaeological surveys, there was always an assumption that Custer had been forced back toward the hill where he died after unsuccessfully challenging the village. The surveys turned up evidence of scattered fire and occasional potshots taken over a wider area than historians had believed, but no deposits related to heavy firing at any position outside the boundaries of the battlefield reserve. What was Custer up to? One can only say definitively that Custer made no attempt to directly attack the village. This is indeed strange, considering that it was the very thing he was there to do. From written orders he sent back about 2 hours before the last stand, it is apparent that Custer would have been expecting 2 columns of reinforcements to join him. These columns would have doubled the size of his effective force. Given the absence of another explanation, one can only conclude that Custer had determined that the village was too large to attack with the force he had originally selected for the purpose.